Welcome back to Sales from Tinkerage. It's my youngest's birthday coming soon, and she's developed into a bit of a Harry Potter fan. So what I thought would be really cool for her birthday is to make her own wand. Now she's too young to go on Pottermore and actually get proper sort of wand sorting, so I just thought I'd make one with whatever I could find. We happen to have some elder trees in the garden, and I've got some branches left over, and I took one of these and cut it down. So took the ends off, trimmed it down, and spent a bit of time with belt sander and a detailed sander, and managed to get it down to this. So I'm hoping that's more in focus than my face. So there's this lovely knot feature here. Took off all the bark, left a bit of this spalding effect on there. Didn't take too long. You can see this is the piece that was fitting on the other end, so you can see how much I've taken that down, mostly with the belt sander. So I'm running at mostly 80 grit on the belt sander, and then I think it's a 240 grit on the detailed sander. So I was able to get this. This is really quite smooth. I do love the feel of wood that has been sanded. I know some people find sanding tedious. I don't do big sanding jobs, but I actually quite like sanding. Also for the effect, it's the feel of the wood on hands afterwards. Now I thought, obviously, as a wand, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know that wands have cores. I just happened to find this feather, rather than that fancy feather. Very nice white, very smooth. It's almost silky. I haven't seen anything quite like that for a long time. I don't think there's anything special. I don't know what this bird is. I'm assuming it's a bird. You never know, of course. So this beautiful feather just happened to be kind of on my way to my car after work one day. So I've drilled a hole, taken that to about 5.5 mil. So I can't do that interim period off the top of my head. And it's going most of the length of that handle there. I happen to have quite a long drill bit. So I started off with just small drill bits first of all, and just went up a little bit of time. And I think that should be just the right size for that feather to go in. I may have to trim the feather a little bit. It's a little bit long. I'm not sure how I'll do that. And that's going to fit inside there as the core. Now, to cover that, I thought of various options, but I happen to have this rather nice piece of dowel left over. It's what we inherited as a curtain rail with a rather nice blanket curtain. So I drilled a hole in the end. Didn't quite get it as central as I'd like. I didn't put it into a vise. I hadn't marked the centre accurately. Just did it by eye. Used a bradawl because I knew I was going to be sanding it down, and I wanted it to kind of be irregular. I didn't want any sort of regularity to this. I then took the belt sander and detail sander and created a little rabbit here on the end, and a little bit of Berkeley that fits on quite nicely. I've given that a little bit of sanding, and that's quite a snug fit. And I'm actually going to keep that loose so that my daughter will actually be able to see the core in place. So that's I think quite a nice shape. It's overall it's quite long for wands. I think it's 16 inches. Just double check. I didn't measure it without the core. It's at 17 1/8 inches. I don't know if that's within Harry Potter bounds. Not sure what Mr. Ollivander would think of that. And so elder, some sort of redwood. I'm really not sure what that is at all. If anyone's got any ideas, please do comment down below. And so later I'll pop the core in. I'm now just going to give this a bit of a coat of varnish. I've only got one pot of varnish at the moment. I've run out of sort of other varnishes, and I'm trying to just use up materials I've got. So I'm going to give that just a coat of varnish and leave that to dry for a few hours. And then a little bit later I'll pop the core in and maybe give it a fine finish with maybe some 200 plus grit paper, and hopefully that'll be ready for her birthday, which is coming very soon. And hope you'll like it. First coat of varnish is dry. I've just a sanding over with some higher grade paper. It may look a little bit dull, but I'm going to put another coat on, so that should look good. I've extended the hole just inside the cover at the bottom just a little bit further, because judging by the depth of the hole I have in here, that's going to be just a little bit longer than the feather. I haven't actually tried a fit with the feather yet. I wanted to leave that. Not sure why. There's something about putting that in. It's going to kind of bring the wand to life a little bit. So let's put the feather in. Seems okay. At least nothing odd happened. Guess time to get the second coat of varnish on. This tiny little screw hole left over from when it was a batten. I'm just going to drill that out a little bit, and then I've got a tiny little bead, yellow bead, which I'm just going to press into there. Oh yes. Don't know if the camera will focus on that. I've just embedded a 2mm little bead in there, jewellery bead, yellow, just to give a nice little touch. Now, time for another coat of varnish.